Just talking about some of the games I've made in my spare time. This one's Chibi Go, and it's just a little guy made in Blender. Runs around, jumps. I threw some random assets in there as well. And there's a guy here that will either be like an NPC or just run after you like an enemy or something like that. The idea is to make it cooperative play, so I designed a split screen element to it so you could play with someone else in the same room. Now with the two characters, I was thinking one would have a certain power-up or mechanic that the other one would not have, so they'd have to kind of work in unison to solve the level. Luigi's Mansion 3 and It Takes Two heavily influenced me, so I'm hoping to create a similar but much simpler concept. This is actually the second time I've made some sort of little mini demo like this. First time I did it was in Unreal Engine 4, and I found it actually really easy to recreate the project in Godot. I sort of enjoy it, so now it's like my engine of choice moving forward. Sure, there's a lot of things you can do in Unreal Engine that's just like pretty much incredible. For instance, landscape design and just the open world concept that you can easily build in Unreal Engine, or I should say more easily in Unreal Engine. This is a similar concept, except he actually follows your mouse pointer, so the camera's actually fixed, and this guy just kind of chases you around. There's no plot or point to this, but I just wanted to see what it would look like on an Android phone or a tablet, so I ended up exporting it pretty easily from Godot to Android, and was pretty happy with it. Lining up the UI was a little tricky, I found, but overall I kind of enjoyed the experience. Here's the similar example that I originally created in Unreal Engine. As you can see, the graphics are much more impressive. These are all just like placeholder textures and things like that. The concept here is you have to collect these light orbs, and that way you can unlock one of the doors. And if he touches you, you end up just respawning at the beginning of the level. I did a little quick playtesting with my sons actually, and they really enjoyed it. It created like some tension as the guy was just constantly chasing you. I think I would probably work on some different AI pathing and maybe create a mechanic where you can actually hide and disappear from the enemy. So once you've collected all these orbs, I can eventually open this little door here. I check it to see if it actually opens, because I forgot. I haven't actually played this in a long time, so I wasn't actually sure how many I needed. But you ended up having to jump on these little stoops here without being touched and get the last orb. I just barely made that little jump there. Again, it's a really simple concept, but I just wanted to see where I could take it. I made these little green frog faces that you can just bounce off of and get onto different parts of the level. That was an interesting little concept. There was no end goal or chest or anything like that. Just this box up here, just thinking it might be a chest one day. But yeah, that's pretty much it. My son actually had more fun trying to escape the entire glass structure and get out into the landscape so he could wander around. So I obviously feel like just wandering around a larger level, like a landscape, would be more ideal. This was actually me playing around with peer-to-peer networking and seeing what it might look like. I ended up creating a Linux server that would host sort of a lobby pairing system, so two users could get paired up and start playing with each other. The end result is the two players are directly connected using UDP, so I didn't actually need to host any actual servers other than the lobby server. As an example, I just put in like some random name for each user and just hit connect and they get paired up. It's just a really simple little example. I actually never took it anywhere. I made a little map system from top-down map view so you could see where everyone is in the level, but I never took it anywhere after this. It was just a proof of concept, I guess. So over the winter I thought I might take another crack at this, and so I decided to make something simpler. Not quite a puzzle game, but a simple game that might require a little bit of puzzling, and you just kind of move this guy around, the red ball follows you. Obviously these are just placeholder graphics for now. I just want to test out kind of like what the gameplay might feel like and how the controls actually feel like. This concept was you would just kind of boost around. I thought of two basic pickups. One would change how fast you can boost up, and another would be how far you can boost. Just some simple concepts. Maybe I'll continue forward and make a level, maybe with some ramps and some obstacles that you might have to break through using a power up. I started to think of what other mechanics I could add and what other elements might be fun, and if this is going to be specifically just for a desktop computer or maybe also mobile. So I wanted to keep the mouse pointer as sort of like a touchscreen option in the future. I started messing around with ChatGPT and just to see what it was capable of. Decided to have it tell me how to create a pawn to play in a video game. You know, what would it look like? It was very interesting to see like what it actually came up with. A unique mechanic. I wanted to see, you know, what it thought of. It was pretty cool. It ended up coming up with a mechanic that would be able to shapeshift so you could solve different parts of the level. And lastly, I wanted it to come up with 3 power-ups that could be used in a video game but couldn't be used at the same time, but also complemented each other for solving the level. Hey, thanks for listening, and enjoy a little pic I made in Blender of a little 3D frog.